Damn it!
We have some bad news, guys. The cutting board that we started showing you guys in part 1, we've had some issues with. I don't know if we can fix it. We may have to start over from scratch and show you part 2 with a completely different cutting board on how to finish them and all that type of stuff. We're going to try and give it a go here, and we're going to see if we can fix this error that we created. And it just boils down to, I didn't have enough time on a certain jig, and I messed up the cutting board pretty bad. Alright, as you can see here, that's all the excess glue we got on our cutting board that was on the other side that we didn't wipe down because I wanted to show you exactly what it looked like. And we're using our Rockler flattening jig here to remove that glue. But this can also come in handy if you can't afford to get a planer, because this is $150 and planers are kind of like $500. All right, now we're at the planer, and we're just going to plane both sides down. We got all the glue off and flattened the one side, so that way we can get 2 exactly flat sides. Obviously, we'll use the flat side that we use with our jig down first with the other side up, and you just keep going till you get your desired thickness, and everything's nice and flat and feels nice and tight. Remember how I said in part 1 that when you're doing the glue up with your parallel clamps, that you ain't got to be worried about it being exactly lined up laterally? Well, that's what we're doing here. We're just cutting off about 1/4 of an inch on each side so that everything's all squared up and all looks uniform and everything's all lined up and ready to go. I'm using my miter saw. It's barely big enough to be able to make this cut. You can also use a track saw for this cut. This is by far the worst part of any woodworking project, is all the sanding you got to do. I hate sanding, but with that to be said, I'm using my Bosch orbital sander there. We're starting off with 80 grit. And if you notice, I'm going in a diagonal direction both ways, as you just saw there, and then I will be going with the grain. You want to do that for all your steps of sanding, because then you won't have any swirl marks showing. It will all look good, and you won't have any imperfections coming up when you do your final finish. Alright, now we're going up to 120 grit, and we are sanding the same exact way we did the 80 grit, in a diagonal, and then with the grain on both sides until you get a good, nice finish. Don't over sand your product though, because then you'll end up having like waves in it and all that type of stuff. That's no good. You don't need to over sand. And our final grit is going to be 240 grit. This is going to be our finishing grit right here. And the type of sandpaper I'm using here is the 3M Extract. I feel that's the best sandpaper on the market. It's so good. I can't even explain it to you. You just got to try it for yourself. And I usually tell people you can cheap out on certain stuff. This is one thing I would say don't cheap out on. Cheap sandpaper sucks. It doesn't leave a good finish. This 3M Extract leaves a beautiful, beautiful finish, and it cuts down your sanding time in almost half. And when you're sanding your edges, do it by hand. It just comes out much nicer. If you're not used to a sander, it will mess up your edges. All right, now we want to put a 1/8 round over on the edges here. You can use whatever finish bit you want, a 1/4 round over, chamfer, whatever your little heart desires or the customer desires. I tend to use a 1/8 round over on all my cutting boards. I just like how it looks, especially on a little bit thinner cutting board like this one. I just really like the look of it. I've also used 1/4 inch round overs quite a bit too. And the cutting board really comes to shape once you get that round over on there. Doesn't it look great? Another thing I like to do by hand when I'm sanding is sanding your round over or your finish routered edge. I don't like using a battery powered or electric sander on this because you can mess it up. You can really mess it up. I just like the look when you do it by hand. It looks neater, it looks cleaner. Unless you're really good with an orbital sander, I would stay away from trying to do it until you get really good at it. Do it by hand. I even still do it by hand to this day. Damn it! Well, the router moved on the jig there and dug in like 3 inches on one side of the cutting board. So, yeah, I thought I ruined it. I didn't know how it would look if I cut off that excess over there. So we're redoing the routering on that side after we cut off the damaged part and resanding it by hand. I was really worried it would look dumb. It would look like a square, not a rectangle, and I was just really heartbroken when all that happened. Excuse my French. I tried bleeping it out. But man, I put my heart and soul into these things. This video, I've put in a ton of time, like 25 hours. And when you're almost done with the video and the cutting board, and that happens, a piece of you dies. I don't care who you are. So excuse my French there, but I didn't want to edit that out either. I wanted you guys to see that people make mistakes, and guess what? Not everything is perfect. All right, second attempt at it here. And I'm going to say this, if you are a beginner, do not attempt to do a juice groove. Wait till you get a little bit more familiar with your tools and all that type of stuff. But look at that. We nailed it. It looks great, but I'm all like, it needs to be a touch deeper. It just didn't have the depth I wanted. So we ran the risk of screwing it up again to run another pass through there. But I took my time. We got it done. And it was all good. That's the Rockler Juice Groove jig. It's not foolproof. You definitely got to take your time. It's tricky, and you definitely have to practice with this jig before you go and try it. And I mean practice a lot, guys. Just not 1 or 2 boards. Like, just keep practicing. And if I hated sanding, I hate sanding inside of juice grooves. It's just such a big pain in the butt, but you gotta do it. You gotta sand inside the juice groove. You gotta make sure everything's all flat and level and has a nice little round over edge on it. But man, I'd be lying to you if I told you this is a huge pain in the butt. Probably took me 20 minutes with my big old sausage fingers to get in there and sand that thing. I think I gotta go buy something at Rockler that helps you sand out these juice grooves a little bit better. Now that we got the inside part of the juice groove sanded, I'm getting my sander here and I'm just going back over the top just to make sure everything's all nice and even and level back over that juice groove and the rest of the board so you got a uniform finish all the way across. Very important. And of course, after you're done, you check for spots and you always find other spots. I swear to God, it took me a half hour just to sand this juice groove. I hate sanding. Now, before we show you the most satisfying part of this whole process, you want to get a damp rag with some water on it and water pop it. That pops the grain and just makes it look nice before your oil. And then here you go, the most satisfying part of this whole process. Put some cutting board mineral oil on there, take a nice microfiber rag, rub it in, front, back, sides, all the good stuff. Don't be shy with the oil either. Rub it all in, and there you see that's the cutting board oil I use. And you want to let that sit overnight. And once it sits overnight, you want to rub all the excess off in the morning. And look at that, it just looks great. This is another step that is also optional depending on what you want or what your customer wants. and all that type of stuff. Most customers want the little rubber feet so that the cutting board don't slide when they're using it. It's very self-explanatory. You got 4 little rubber feet with holes inside of them and 4 Phillips head screws. You pre-drill your holes in each corner, and then you drill the screw through the hole. Bada boom, you got nice little rubber feet, and it adds a definite value to your cutting boards, and you maybe spent $1. This is another optional step. That's Odie's wood butter, okay? I always put this on because when I feel like you're selling something, you should use some of the best stuff. That jar right there is $80. So you don't have to use this. I choose to use this because it gives the wood a beautiful sheen. It protects the wood. It's another layer of protection for the customer, but you can most definitely just get by with a couple of coats of cutting board mineral oil. You don't have to do this step, but if you do this step and shell out the $80 for the jar, it's very thick. You got to rub it into the wood. Rub it in. You don't want to leave streak marks on or nothing. You want to rub it in to where you almost don't see anything, and then you want to let that sit overnight as well. And it makes the board just smell wonderful. It's got like a citrus smell to it.
Well, there you have it. We just completed a cutting board, and she came out beautiful. That wasn't without any issues, though. We dodged a catastrophe with the juice groove jig and my router. We made lemons into lemonade, but we still got it done. She still came out beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I would like the extra 2 inches out here. Just, it would have looked better to me, but it still came out phenomenal, and my sister will still love it. I hope this video helped all of you guys who are interested in maybe getting into woodworking, trying to start building the cutting board. Like I said, they're easy, they're simple. You don't even need all of the tools that I have in my shop. Do they make it a lot easier to build these and build other woodworking projects? 110% yes. But like I said, I started off with a circular saw, some squeeze clamps, a Bauer 20 volt planer, hand planer, electric hand planer, and a really cheap Skill 12 volt sander. That's how I started off, and it's kind of growing into what it's growing into, and now we're completing beautiful boards like this. So don't be afraid, jump in with both feet and start your cutting board today. If you guys really like this video, this 2-part series that we did of how to make a cutting board, could you please give us a like and a subscribe? Helps the channel greatly, and it's 100% free. We're this close. I think we're down to like 100 subs we need to get the 10K subscribers, a huge milestone for the Tool Channel Tool Squatch. And we will be doing a massive giveaway with all kinds of power tools, just to say thank you to everybody who's made this possible, took me on this ride with you guys, and I love you all. We'll see you guys on the next one. What's the next thing that you want us to build and maybe show you how to do? Let me know in the comments.